Religion is powerful. One of the things that deeply concerns me in our world today is the weaponizing of religion against our neighbors. We see it in our own country where there are parts of our society that want to weaponize our Christian faith against people of other faiths within our country. We see it in other parts of the world where Islam is weaponized, where Buddhism is weaponized, or Hinduism is weaponized against minority groups within their dominant settings. Whenever religion becomes an arm of the state for oppression, it ought to be of concern to every one of us. One of the goals is to remove that tool of oppression from the hands of actors who would turn our faiths into something that we don't even recognize in terms of our understanding of our call to love by our Lord Jesus. And as we participate as American Baptists in particular in these dialogues, the goal is, how is God calling us to expand our capacity to love, to live with compassion, with integrity, not only for ourselves, but for the other. When I was a chair of the National Council of Churches, I urged us to move beyond the traditional Christian, Muslim, Christian, Jewish dialogue, to start the Christian, Hindu, Christian, Buddhist dialogue, because I was keenly aware by our involvement in Burma of the weaponization of Buddhism within that country against the Christian minority. I was keenly aware through our Baptist brothers and sisters in India of the weaponization of Hinduism against them as a minority, where in each of these nations, the state had taken those religions and had used them against neighbors within their countries. Our engagement is an opportunity to de-weaponize, to reclaim our faiths for what they are, an expression of our intent to live in relationship to God and to one another in ways that honor God. There is so much fear of one another that people will use any difference as a reason for denigrating the other. And because of the power of religious faith, it is so easy for actors to see that as a way to press their agenda and gain their dominance without regard for what that faith teaches and stands for. I'm also keenly aware as someone who wants people to fall in love with Jesus, as so many people look at how Christianity has been weaponized and how other faiths have been weaponized. They say all that faith does is divide people. And so faith is a bad thing. I think that's one of the biggest issues we face in evangelism as Christians. Faith is a bad thing in a lot of people's eyes because they've seen how it has been weaponized. And so in these dialogues, our capacity to see the breadth of God's love for all is enlarged and becomes more deeply rooted in our own spiritual practices and our own practice of life. This living together, not just dialogues, formal dialogues, but this living together in dialogue with one another, mutuality with one another. It's so important.